My name is Nathan. I'm the founder of MetaSignals, and we help you to trade crypto with a proven edge. Today, let's talk a little bit about win rate. There seems to be a whole lot of confusion, and hopefully I can clear it up for you. So on every alert card, you see at the bottom here, we have TP1, 2, and 3, and the corresponding win rates. So looking at this, TP1, 73%. All right, so the first thing that's got to be understood is that this is the win rate going back to the inception of this strategy, which includes both backtested and live results. This strategy has been live for, I think, since October 2023, maybe early 2024. So it's a combination of backtested results and live results. And the 73% on TP1 has occurred, as you can see in this dashboard here, over 181 different trades. This dashboard is available to anyone, metasignals.io/dashboard. You can plug in the data from any given alert card and generate an equity curve, and it will help to give you a clearer, more realistic picture of what's going on here. The first mistake that I see a lot of people making, which I suppose is understandable, is that you see 73% and you decide, okay, so the next 10 trades I take based on this strategy, I should win 7, maybe 8. No. It's 73% over the lifetime of the strategy. So that's over 181 trades. And during that time, of course, there's going to be periods where you're winning 90+%, and there's going to be times where it's not performing and where it's flat or even down. We can take a look in the dashboard. So you see I've plugged in the data from this alert card. Is the 45-minute long strategy 1.11. We're using the stop loss close below method, which means we don't exit without a 45-minute close below the stop loss level. We're exiting at the TP1 level. We're just assuming here $100,000 starting balance and $3,000 risk per trade. On this $3,000 risk per trade, we have to plug in a number here, but when you're waiting for the close below, you're often going to lose more than $3,000. If it closes deep below the stop loss on a 45-minute and you're waiting for that close, you might end up losing $5,000, $6,000. For that reason, you've got to also use an emergency static stop loss. You can do that with alltradey.com. In the next iteration of the algos, we're going to add the data based on using an emergency static stop loss, which the algorithms will calculate. But for now, you've got to go into it saying, I'm risking $3,000 per trade on a $100,000 balance. Okay, 3% of your account per trade, reasonable. And when I'm wrong, I know that I will lose more than 3,000. So scrolling down to the equity curve, you can see if I told you from 2020 to the end of 2025, you're going to start with $100,000. You're going to trade every single one of these alerts, and you're going to end up at $359,000. You would say, sign me up. I'm in. Awesome. We see two different things. We see people joining during times like these and declaring, okay, this is the best thing ever. I'm quitting my job on Monday. I'm a full-time trader now. I found it. Here we go. All right. Thank you for the enthusiasm, but you've got to see the big picture. On the other side, we have people who join during times like these, where for a number of months, this particular strategy anyway, has been flat and even down a little bit. And those people quickly conclude, oh, this is all nonsense. Just another signal site with marketing gimmicks and hype without any real world results. If you take the time to plug in the numbers and you zoom out, you see that as with any real trading strategy that provides a real edge without major drawdowns, there's going to be times where it's not performing. I wish, and maybe one day we'll get there, I wish that we could just give you, straight to 1 million within the first year, consistent wins. But there's just going to be times when it doesn't perform, where it's flat. And that's the first thing you've got to understand, that's realistic trading. You can see the signals distribution down here. So you're also going to see there's times when it's very busy for this particular strategy, and then times when it goes quiet. So the big takeaway on this first point is that just because a strategy is performing very well or is not performing at all doesn't mean that you can draw quick conclusions. If it's only been a few weeks or even a couple months, it really doesn't mean much to us. What we're looking at is the long-term edge. As you can see here, it delivers without any major drawdowns, but there's times where it's boring and it's you're perhaps even losing money. Eventually, the edge plays out in your favor. Another thing that I see a lot of is people assuming that, well, the highest win rate is the best. And maybe, sometimes, not necessarily all the time. Why is that? Because as you go for these deeper targets, TP2 and TP3, yes, your win rate is drastically reduced. But you see here next to each target, we have the RR, the risk reward ratio. So on target 1, you're generally risking around $100 to make 115. On target 2, you're risking 100 to make 700. Target 3, risking 100 to make 1200. So I actually haven't plugged in these numbers, but let's just do it. Right now we're on target 1 and we end up starting with 100,000, risking 3,000 per trade. If we go to take profit 2, our win rate goes to 45%. We know that from the stats on the alert card. But we end up with more money. Okay. It also means that for a couple years, this strategy was flat and down, So then it's up to you as a trader to decide what kind of person are you. Are you able to hang in there for the long term and deal with these flat times? Or would you rather just lock in the money more quickly and end up with a lower end balance? If we go to TP3 and the 35% win rate, ending balance 742,000. Also flat for a long time and drawing down for 6 months, 7 months, but long term it's performing and it's performing better than TP1 at 73%. If you have some technical analysis knowledge already under your belt, there are definitely ways to look at the chart at the time of the alert and decide if it's more likely to hit TP2 or TP3. If you're trading blindly, which there's nothing wrong with that, you have to understand that there's going to be periods of time where you're flat or drawing down. And you need to understand that long term, the edge is going to play out in your favor. I always love the story of counting cards in Blackjack and how it relates to an edge in trading. I'm sure it's been said before by someone, but I'll say it again. If you can count cards effectively in Blackjack, which is very difficult already, and if the computers in the sky don't pick up on the fact that you're increasing your position size when the count is in your favor, you're decreasing position size when it's against you, you have a very slight edge over the casino. But even Rain Man level professional Blackjack card counters don't know and have no guarantee that any session they go into is going to be profitable. They can do an 8-hour, 12-hour session if they can find a casino where they can get away with it, right? And come out down. Their entire game becomes disguising themselves in order to get enough repetitions to let that edge play out in their favor. And that's the exact same thing that's happening here. The edge is playing out over time, and especially if you're trading blindly, you don't know if the next session is going to be profitable or not. You do know that over time, you have an edge. So even if you're trading blindly, at least you're trading blindly with an edge. And again, you don't know if today you show up and the edge delivers or it doesn't. Just as if you're counting cards and your disguise is good and they don't pick up on it and you put in a 12-hour session, it doesn't mean you're going to come out ahead just because you have that slight edge. But if you can get in enough 12-hour sessions, eventually the numbers will turn in your favor. It's exactly what we're doing here. We're not concerned with any one particular trade. We're not concerned with any one particular week. We're not really concerned with the last 50 trades. It's all about the long-term edge. I hope this has been helpful. If you're at all interested in what we're doing here, you've got to check out the NFT, which grants lifetime access for 1 ETH. Once it's gone for good. Lifetime access won't be brought back. There's 775 NFTs remaining right now. April 1st, 2026, we'll burn any remaining supply. If the NFTs sell out before then they're gone. And going forward from there, we'll likely have an annual subscription at $2,000 a year. So do the math. If you're interested, this is definitely the way to go. If you're on the fence, we'll be here in a year, but lifetime access won't. Hope this has been helpful. See you again soon.